Hello everyone. I'm here today to let the world kind of flow with this new belief that I'm kind of sailing now. Um I don't know. The last few days I've seen a lot of nonsense going on over the news about war and religious extremists. And it seems like everyone's focal point is to drown the other person, to dunk that other person's head in the water so that he could breathe himself. You know, it's like they're all drowning in such false beliefs that one will push the other one down just so they could get their word in. I'm not a kind of person who is going to ever say that there is no God. I can't say that. I can't look around and say that there isn't a God. But one thing I can say is that I am entirely against organized religions. I don't give a shit what it is. It seems like every religion has a way of attaching money, a way of making you feel like you're doing something wrong by not giving. To me, that's bullshit itself. Now, to really understand what being anti-religion and pro-God is, we must first ask several questions. First is, why do we need a religion to believe in a power greater than ourselves and our world? Does religion too often push people apart when it should bring them together? I mean, is it time for a global unity? And if so, how can we overcome the barriers of religion? How? I mean, it seems like religion itself is making everyone want to go at each other's throat. Are we not each entitled to find our connection to God in our own individual way? For too many centuries, we have watched religions cause conflict, wars, and suffering. So, how many more centuries of this shit must we sit back and watch? Another question we gotta ask is, what is our purpose? I have to say that my purpose here isn't to just bash religions right now. It's more about comparing the negative aspects of any one religion to another. It is not about the comparative values of religions, the comparative evils, or the comparative histories. It's about learning to look critically and as openly as possible at our personal and collective beliefs, fears, and basically the search for truth. What is the truth? It seems to be a part of humanists, that many of us feel a need to search for some power that is greater than we are. If we, in our smallness, if I may say, in our fragility, are all there is, then for some of us, life will not be worth living. In order to find meaning in life, we have to find a way to connect to something, someone who is bigger than we are, smarter than we are, and not trapped within the confines of a physical life. So the question begins, can we find God on our own, without the help of religion? And when you say that, immediate doubts just flood the fuck on in. Aren't we too small on our own? Don't we need the wisdom centuries of wiser men who went before us to be able to ascertain the truth? Who are we to think we could find the truth ourselves? And that's the thing. Many fucking people are relying on some pisshead who says, I found God, who gets down and dirty and starts dancing frantically, sweating his ass off with a fucking towel in his hand, cleaning his face, saying, oh yeah, I feel Jesus, or Allah's here, or Jews kicking it off with their hats and throwing it. I mean, it's bullshit. People, they get this sense of fear to just take what they know, what they feel, on their own and use that. I mean, you can't tell me. Don't fucking sit there and tell me that you believe that the end of the life is going to be an infinite amount of what is it? It's the same thing in the Old Testament, the New Testament. It even says it in the Quran in a different wording. A river of milk and honey Now tell me what the fuck milk and honey is gonna do for me, or the Muslims with the 72 virgins or whatever. I mean, is it really gonna work? Is my thing gonna work when I'm dead? I don't know. So you really got to look at it from a bigger picture. You know, you're sitting here, probably 26-year-olds, trying to preach something to your kids that you know sounds as believable as Santa Claus. Yet many families thrive upon believing such a thing. I don't know why people just can't detach themselves from these fucked up organized religions, keep their money, their hard-earned dollar, and look at the deeds that can be done. Why do you have to give something to an organized church, mosque, or synagogue? Why do you have to do that? I mean, there are homeless people outside. There are kids who are sick. There are so many ways to give to those in need. And I believe that in this universe, that there's a magnetic field of energy, you know, that is thrived upon all of us. You know, when we're born, we're positive. We don't know shit because we're a baby, but we grow up innocent, and it's that innocence that is that positive energy that brings positive things to one's life. You know, you give out negative energy, you're gonna get that shit in return. But you can't sit there, like I said, you can't sit there and say, just because there's no religion, there must be no God. You look at the world around you. You look how everything works in such... I can't... The words can't even explain it. It just works so well. Everything works together. It all confines itself, you know? And nothing ever contradicts another. You know, the way that the earth is tilted, the axis, it gives us those seasons. The way our feet are stood to the floor. You know, I may sound pathetic right now as far as, you know, physics and shit like that, but I'm just trying to give you guys a picture of what I see this world to be. And what I see this world to be is a perfect, well put together piece of work by a power greater than ourselves, that had no connection with man or any of that other bullshit. I don't think that there was anyone important enough to talk to someone that almighty. I just don't. I can't look around and look at the stars and then say, hey, yeah, this almighty God that created the entire universe had to give two shits about some small human specimen, you know? Not to say that God may not care for his creation, but I just feel that God hasn't come yet. That God hasn't had a reason to come yet. And I just really wanted to get that point across, that religion is such a bother, you know? The most basic, self-evident truth of all, the truth that jumps from the heart of each person and shouts to be heard, is that there is a higher power. You know? That's it. That's all you need to know, is that there is a higher power. And that some guy didn't die for your fucking sins so you could go and fuck around, or that some guy said, hey, yeah, you can marry multiple wives and bang all of them the way you want, or you have to make 11 between the sheets. You can't eat milk with steak. I mean, it's bullshit. It's like some little group of kindergarten sat around and thought of fucking rules and regulations you can't fucking do, you know, the things you can't break. It's bullshit. If anyone's a believer, believe in God. That's all I gotta say. God and God only. Thank you.